Have you ever sat down and watched a bad movie and you start questioning your own intelligence? You're saying, why the fuck am I watching this? But I like it. It happens to me all the time. Maybe I'm the only one, but they've proved that watching bad movies is linked to high intelligence.
Who the fuck proved that?
Some article that I saw on
the internet?
Yeah, the internet, Elite Daily.
Alright, keep thinking you're smart.
It helps. There are some bad movies out there that are just plain bad. And then there are some really good bad movies. And I mean bad movies that you just laugh out loud at how unintentionally bad they are.
All of Pauly Shore.
Well, no, those are good movies. I don't care what you say. Pauly Shore, he's an underrated comedian. Jury Duty.
Jury Duty. Son-in-Law.
Yes. Those should be on the top, 250 IMDb list.
That should be preserved by the Library of Congress.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, for the top 5 so bad it's good movies. Number 5 is a movie that a lot of people probably have seen. It's probably in a lot of people's list. This movie is called Troll 2. This was released in the 80s. It was a sequel to Troll, which in itself is not a very good movie. But Troll 2 is so bad, it doesn't even have any trolls in it. It was directed by an Italian director named Claudio Fragasso, which sounds a lot like fracasso. And for those who don't speak Spanish, fracasso pretty much means failure. The director of this film thinks to this day that the film is considered a masterpiece. And he went to the anniversary of the film. It was shown, I think, in New York. There's a documentary called Best of the Worst, where people actually lined up to see this film. And Claudio went up to the people saying, "You liked my film! Oh my god, I can't believe it!" But he really thinks people like the film because it's good. It's actually really terrible. The dialogue is so over the top. There's sequences that don't make sense. There's a scene where a guy is making out with the villain, and they're eating corn, and the corn turns into popcorn, and there's no microwave involved. It's just how intense and hot the scene is. It's ridiculous. Number 4 is a movie that now more people probably know about it. This film came out in the 80s. It was pretty much a rip-off of the Rambo movies, and that movie's called Deadly Prey. Deadly Prey tells the story of a man who came back from Vietnam. He's living a happy life with his wife, and all of a sudden, while he was going out to throw out the trash, he gets abducted and thrown into a game in the middle of nowhere where he must survive using his fists and whatever things are around. It's a really ridiculous movie. I guess the moral of the story is don't throw out your trash. You may be abducted and get thrown in the middle of nowhere.
Or don't come back from Vietnam.
Deadly Prey, the story seems ridiculous. It seems bad, and it is bad. What's so remarkable about this film is the acting. The acting in this film, it's so cheesy and so sincere in a way where you can tell they were really trying their best. There's a sequence where the main actor, who's never acted in his life, he's a brother of the director who had never directed a film in his life, they both share something in common. He is actually supposed to give a really intense scene where they're telling him, "Run or we'll kill you." And he goes, "You're gonna die." And he says it with such sincerity, but, his acting is terrible. So it comes out really goofy. Number 3. Most people would put this film on their number 1. And I agree, I would probably put it number 1. But there's other films that are even worse than this. And this movie is directed by Tommy Wiseau. It stars, it's written, it's edited, and directed by Tommy Wiseau. And if you don't know what movie this is, then you're in for a treat. The movie's called The Room. Explaining this film in a short summary is an impossible feat. I think I would probably die trying to explain this movie in less than a minute. I probably will be able to pass an SAT first before explaining this film. The Room is just ridiculous. Tommy Wiseau thinks he can act, thinks he can direct, and nothing comes right in this film. Tommy Wiseau, now, he says, yes, when I made this film, it was supposed to be a joke. If you look at interviews from 2003, when the film first came out, he actually said this film was supposed to be a quintessential masterpiece, a personal work of art. So he changed his mind, and you can tell when he's talking about it, especially in more recent interviews where he talks about a documentary they're making about the film, he's not really happy about it. He's just like, yes, it's a funny movie. So not much is known about Tommy Wiseau. We don't really know how old he is, or if he's from Russia, Slovenia. No one knows where he's from. But he has left us with a remarkable film that's so bad that you will definitely enjoy, even if you're not intoxicated or amongst friends. You can watch this by yourself and have a good time. So number 2 is a movie that actually wasn't going to put at number 1, and I know it's on your number 1 list, is a film called Miami Connection. This film was considered lost for a long time, but a production company, they purchased the reels for this film and they released this film unedited, pristine, remastered for our enjoyment to see how terrible this film is. It's a group of friends who are in a rock band, who also fight and do terrible one-liners. This movie has some of the most awkward scenes that shouldn't be. Like, I really want to meet the editor of this film, because there's certain sequences that you're like, there should be a cut here. This scene is going for way too long. It shouldn't even be there, and it just makes no sense. But you're gonna have a wonderful time watching this movie. There's a song in this film that's stuck in my head, and I haven't watched it in a while. Sad thing though, the film is out of print both on Blu-ray and DVD. I don't know if it's on any streaming service, but if you do come across it, whether it's for free or for a price, watch it. You're gonna have a good time watching Miami Connection.
It's about friendship and martial arts.
Yes, that's right. So what can possibly top Miami Connection? You know, I thought about it, and there's only one movie. This movie, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's called Samurai Cop. A sequel was recently released called Samurai Cop 2. The sequel's okay, but the first film, Samurai Cop, tells a story of a guy who's supposed to be Japanese, but he looks American, doesn't speak real Japanese at all. He usually says, like, what's his name? Mumbo Jumbo, Yakuzawa. Like, you never really see him train with a samurai sword. But he's the best at what he does, whatever it is that he does. This is a really absurd film. It's hilarious, though, and I can't tell you all the sequences because it would actually ruin the film. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave in the comments down below. And please click the like button and subscribe. So this was Vest Top 5. I'm Vest Guy, and you can kiss my ass. Oh my god! They're killing her! And they're gonna eat me! Oh my god!